Hello, Libra, and welcome to this, your mid to late March 2023 reading. This reading is intended for all of the people born under the sign of Libra, as well as anyone who has a lot of Libra in their charts. Before I get any further into this, my camera has a tendency to have little spaz outs halfway through. I don't edit my videos. I just wait, and eventually the camera resets itself. So I do apologize. Please bear with me. I haven't quite figured out why it does that, but it is what it is. Okay, getting back into things. This is a general reading, so it may resonate for some of you, but not all of you, with regards to the timing. The intended timing for this reading is from mid-March to the end of March 2023. However, when we're dealing with the ethereal realm and making predictions like this, sometimes the timing doesn't quite add up. Things move at a different rate of speed on different realms or planes of existence. And so just trust and believe that when we're doing psychic predictions, we are tapping into the energy here and now. You have free will. You can make choices on your own. And as you make choices, the psychic readings would obviously change, because for each decision that we make, there are changes that happen and shifts that happen. So just know that if things don't actually come to pass right when we say they're going to, one of two things has happened. Either the timing just wasn't right, or you yourself have used your free will, tapped into that, and you've made changes accordingly in order that something perhaps negative doesn't come to fruition. Okay. Speaking of free will, again, anything in this video that might be viewed as specific advice toward you, please keep in mind that this reading is intended for all of the Libras that are out there. So if you have a really important decision to make, Libra, please tap into your own decision-making center. That would be tap into your own heart and make decisions that are best for you. Couple of last final housekeeping tips or housekeeping things here. I work with a number of different oracle as well as tarot decks. I find that makes the reading a little bit more palatable, for lack of a better term, for some people. It resonates better for some people rather than using specifically one tarot deck. When I'm doing the reading, I leave all of the cards face down until I'm actually ready to turn them over and read them. That way there's an opportunity for more of that intuitive or psychic knowledge to come in, and the reading does tend to expand from there. All right, Libra, let's get started. We're going to look at where you're at now. We're going to look at what you're focusing on. We're going to look at your difficult influences. We are going to have a look at a card that just makes sense. We're going to have a look at unexpected influences and your final overall outcome. The final overall outcome card is intended for where you're projected to be at for the end of the month. Let's get started. First card we're going to pull is where you're at now. All of the decks have been cleansed and cleared for you, Libra. Okay, where's the Libras now? Is that going to fall? Yeah, there they go. Okay, let's set those up here, face down, and let's have a look at what are you focusing on, Libra? Getting called over here. What are the Libras focusing on? Here we go again for March. Oh, we got another one flipped over. Whoa, did you see that one fly? Always fun. Okay, and turn that one down. Okay, let's have a look at your difficult influences. Where are we going for difficult influences? Okay, I'm getting drawn over here to the messages from the spirits of nature. Difficult influences for Libra. Okay. Anything else for Libra and difficult influences, mid to late March? No. Okay, let's explore what makes sense. What makes sense? Okay. Okay. There was quite a few cards that decided to jump out. They did land face up, so I'll just give you a flash of one of the cards that came out because they did come up in a pile. So I can't see what's below, but you saw them jump out and there's a rabbit. Okay, let's have a look at your unexpected influences. What is unexpected for the Libras for mid to late March? Unexpected. Are you coming out? That one's coming out. Is there anything else? Is that one going to come out? Is it going to fall out? I think it's going to. We're watching it. There it goes. You can have fun with your cards. All right, there was another card that was tempted to come up. We're going to pull it and just set it aside. So first card that came out, that card wanted to a second. There we go. All right, let's have a look at your general overall outcome. These cards are intended for where you're going projected to be at the end of March. Is there anything else that the Libras need to know? Okay. Anything else? Oh, is there something else coming out? All right. Let's turn these over in the order in which that was the last one that came out. Okay. Where are you at now, Libras? Ooh. Libras, you are at the point where you are expressing your valiant courage, you are stepping into your power, and you are staying focused. These cards are telling me that you have come to this good place. Now, I can tell you from doing the majority of the other zodiac signs so far, in doing their videos and their readings, that many of the zodiac signs, indicating that many of the people on the planet right now are at that place where they're stepping into learning and growth, and I'm not quite there yet, and oh my God, there's something just over the horizon that I need to embrace or change so that I can adapt to that. These cards are telling me, Virgo, that you're not there. You're one step beyond that. You're in that place where you have already stepped into that place of courage. You're taking action with passion. That's the bottom of this card. You've stepped into your own power, recognizing your own energies and the magic within you. And you are staying focused. You know what needs to be done. You've done the work and you have found your new path. This is actually really, really refreshing after having done so many zodiac readings for mid to late March that were all very similar in the sense that people were just all of a sudden waking up. And this is really refreshing for you, Libra, that you're stepping into this place of power. I think I said Virgo a minute ago. I don't know why. But no, this is intended for Libras. Making a lot of videos very close together because I was sick for a couple of days is a little bit overwhelming. So I do apologize for my scratchy voice. I do apologize if I cough. Or if it seems like I'm rushing. I'm sorry, Libra. Okay, so yeah, this is positive. We'll probably go back to one or two of those cards as we go through your reading. What are you focusing on? Okay, wow. You have 3 wands cards that have come up. Okay. I'm going to read them in the order in which they popped out of the deck. The first card that you have is the 4 of Wands. This is a card of participation. This is in your focus. So this is telling me that you have moved beyond that point of awakening and going, oh, wow, things are not as they seemed. And you're now, Libra, in that place of actually stepping out and participating in what's going on around you. You are actually, participation. Look at that, stepping into your power. Okay. And taking action with courage. Those two cards both sound like you're participating in life. So your focus is to continue to participate as you go forward here in the mid to late March. The next card that you have is an interesting card. In this particular deck, it corresponds to the 1 in the traditional tarot, which happens to be the Magician card. Here it's the Existence card. Both of those have the connotation that you are powerful beyond belief. You are magical and you can create whatever you want. And so that is what you are focusing on. You have a lot of cards here, a lot of things here that you're focusing on. You have the 7 of Pentacles here, or 7 of Rainbows as it's represented in this particular deck. This is a card of patience. This is a card of you recognizing and acknowledging that as much as you are the magician, as much as you are stepping into this realization that being in existence means that you're powerful. Oh, this card also means that you're really powerful. Just thought I'd point that out. Even though you're realizing that you're magical and you're powerful, you also have the maturity to recognize patience and recognize that everything comes in its own time, in cycles. So you'll notice here that the cycles of the moon are represented up here. We also have a woman who is pregnant, which of course is a cycle. It's part of a woman's life if she so chooses to bear children, but it is a cycle that we go through. Okay, and so this is one of the other things you're focusing on, Libra, is you are looking at, right, this is just a cycle. So if you are experiencing anything that might be viewed as negative or not exactly going your way, you recognize and acknowledge that everything is temporary and you have patience and you just work through the cycles. You have the 2 of Wands here, which represents possibilities in this deck. It represents being able to see things from a higher perspective here with this eagle on the card. Okay, so you're focusing on this, you're focusing on the possibilities. And the final card that you have here is the Intensity card. Again, this is another Wands card. So you have 3 cards in your focus that are all part of the suit of Wands, or the suit of fire. The Wands correspond to the element of fire. Really important for you right now, Libra. Do you know what this means? Action. These are all actionable cards. They are in your focus and they are things that you are meant to be taking action on. You are meant to be participating in life and not sitting back. You're not meant to be the hermit right now. You are meant to be exploring possibilities and actively seeing things from the higher perspective. And you are meant to be doing things with intensity. Okay. Let's have a look, Libra, at your difficult influences. Okay, your difficult influences right now for mid to late March is the Diamond, which is radiance. You know, you've come into so much power here and so much realization of your magical abilities to be able to manifest and do what you want and what you need to do in your life. But for whatever reason, you're not allowing that to shine out. You're not allowing your radiance to just beam out into the world. You're sitting back, which is interesting because your focus is supposed to be, participating with intensity. You've got the Rice or the Nourishment card in your difficult influences. What this is telling me, again, I am not a doctor. I cannot give you specific advice regarding your health, but what I can tell you is that generally, When this card comes up in the difficult influences, it's a sign that we need to pay attention to our health. We need to pay attention to our diet. Perhaps we're not consuming enough water. That's what's coming up for me. The other thing that's coming up for me, Libra, is have a look at the grains that you're consuming. Like I said, this is not specific health advice. It's just telling you what's coming in intuitively is that perhaps exploring your diet, what you are consuming and why you are consuming it, and having a look at how your body is reacting to what you are consuming would be well advised over the coming two and a half weeks or so. Okay. Let's have a look at the cards that came up for this. Makes sense. This is where the rabbit jumped out. This is the card of spring. Interestingly, we only have about another week to go, and we're going to be into the spring equinox. See your seeds grow. It's interesting that you have this stepping into your own power, and you've got the existence card, recognizing the power of your existence, and the magician card coming out here. And you're being reminded again and again and again, Libra, in this reading about how strong and how powerful you are. And I did say right from the start, it felt to me like you had planted some seeds, like you were in that place of really knowing that you were changing direction and knowing the direction you were going in. And that's what this card is representing here for you. You also have the card of the great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. This card is more of a reminder, I feel, rather than advice. This, sometimes when we do these readings, a card will come out and people go, wow, I didn't see that coming. And other times a card will come out and you go, I knew that one was going to be coming out. This is not surprising that this card is coming out for you, Libra, because this card is a reminder that even though you've done all of this other growth, you still have more to learn. We all have things to learn all of the time. We are all students, and yet we are also all teachers. And quite often, teachers learn as much from their students as students learn from teachers. So remember that symbiotic relationship, because that's what this card is reminding you of. And also making sense right now is you are being reminded of the elder and being reminded to move beyond ancestral patterns. When we have a spiritual awakening, when we start stepping into our power and realizing how powerful we are, when we start taking action with passion, participation with intensity. There's a common theme running through all these cards for you, Libra, and that's not by accident. When we have this kind of awakening, there can be moments that we experience where we go, I just want to go back to the way things were, right? It's overwhelming. It's intimidating when we go into a period of huge growth. And so you're being reminded, don't fall back into those old patterns. There will be moments in the next 2.5 weeks over the, mid to late March, where you will have that temptation to fall back into those old patterns. And there's nothing wrong with exploring those old patterns and questioning why we did things the way we did them, and exploring whether there is the necessity to go back to doing things the old way, or whether we need to continue to step forward. There's nothing wrong with questioning that, but to actually be lazy and just fall back into that because it's easy, that's what this card is asking you not to do. Let's have a look at your unexpected insights. Ooh, you've got the Princess of Autumn, also known as the Princess of Pentacles. Happy news about your career, success, promotions, well thought out plans that go the way that you had intended. This is from the Fairy Tarot deck. You also have the Prince of Winter. This one is interesting that you got this one. with this card. Both of these cards have a similar meaning. I know there's a bit of a reflection on the card there, but both of these cards have a similar meaning. The Prince of Winter is asking you to seek out an intellectual solution to your problem, including seeking out advice from others. That's in your unexpected insights. And the other card that you have here in your unexpected insights is the Empress. It's time to take action. Okay. Interesting. Do I need to say this any more loudly to you, Libra? Focus on intensity. Take action with passion. Hopefully that is coming into view for you. And the Empress, I don't know whether I can get that to focus, but right here, time to take action. Okay. Libra, the time is now. If you have been working on manifesting something, this is telling you, all of these cards are saying, take that leap. Take that leap. And the Empress is actually a really good omen to, not omen, but, you know, this is a card of positivity. It's a card that is telling you not only is it time to take action, but whatever steps you are intending to take are being supported by the universe right now with the Empress coming out. Let's have a look at your general overall outcome. Okay. All right, your general overall outcome, you do have two cards with a somewhat negative connotation to each of the cards. You have the Nine of Wands, which represents some exhaustion, and you have the Page of Swords, which represents some fighting. It's not surprising that you have these two cards coming out. Again, I'm going to repeat, when you're going through drastic change, drastic growth, there is some exhaustion that comes up. There is that temptation to fall back into old patterns. Okay. I can tell you from experience, Libra, that if you do fall into old patterns again, that actually will create more exhaustion in your life. Honestly, it's more exhausting to fall back into old patterns because then we beat ourselves up. Okay. This fighting card is an interesting card to come up right now. Sometimes it can feel like we have to fight for every step that we're going to take. And I do sense, Libra, that from time to time, the same way that there's going to be that temptation to fall back into old patterns, from time to time, it is going to feel like you have to fight forward for every step. But the other cards that came out for you for the remainder and for the end of March moving into April are really positive cards. You've got the Innocence card. Okay. When you go through this big change and this shift and you realize exactly what it is that you want and what you're looking for, there is an opportunity to sit in innocence. And so after some of this other turmoil, you do have an opportunity coming up at the end of the month to sit in that innocence. You'll notice on the card, the character has a praying mantis on his finger, and he's just watching it with childlike innocence. There's no judgment. He's just watching it and observing it. Okay. You have the Ordinariness card. This is the equivalent to the Eight of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of balance. Now, the Pentacles suit in the deck often refers to finances. And so this card is really saying that there is an ordinariness to life, but also to your finances. Okay, this is kind of projecting or predicting that come the end of the month, there's just this ordinariness about life, and that's okay. The last two cards that you have, rounding out your entire reading, are the 3 and 4 of Cups. Okay, Both of these cards end your reading in a very positive way, Libra, both with a celebration as well as the reminder to tune in. Interestingly, this has a similar meaning. The Innocence card and the Tuning In card both have similar meanings. This one's from the Major Arcana, this one's from the Minor Arcana, but both of them have the intention behind them that nearing the end of the month, Libra, there's an opportunity for you to take time and reflect on things, while at the same time celebrating your victories. Thank you so much for joining me here in the middle of March. I hope that you will join me again at the end of March for your early April reading. And I greatly appreciate each and every one of you being here. Bye-bye.